I'm Chef Shonah Jefferson, Executive Chef and owner of Chefs for Seniors North and Southeast Houston Metro, where our mission is to improve seniors' lives through food. Welcome to Chef Shonah's Foodies Over 50, the cooking show dedicated to those of us over 50 who love food, who love to cook, and want to do so in healthier ways because we are what we eat. Hi, welcome to Chef Shonah's Foodies Over 50. Where today we will be making Amatriciana sauce served over zoodles or squoodles. And actually today it's a combination of zoodles and squoodles. Just so you know, zoodles are zucchini noodles and squoodles are squash noodles. So Amatriciana sauce is a traditional Italian sauce that is made with pancetta and tomatoes. And so I'm going to go through the ingredients now and then we'll jump right in. So I have some diced pancetta, which is very similar to bacon. It's cured with salt. It can be eaten cooked or raw. Got some red onions, some fresh sliced garlic, crushed red tomatoes, wine, San Marzano, tomatoes, tomato paste, Italian seasoning, some basil, and my zoodle squoodle mixture. So we'll start cooking. Gonna add a little bit of olive oil to our skillet. And the skillet's already hot, which is great. And then I'm gonna add my pancetta. And I'm gonna put my pancetta in one half of the skillet and let it start cooking. Then I'll add a little more olive oil to the second half, the other half of the skillet, and I'll cook my onion at the same time. So this version of Amatriciana sauce is not traditional, but it's based on 3 or 4 recipes that I have prepared in the past. My very first client, her name is Lois. She is a retired opera singer, so she spent a lot of time in Italy. So she's given me several different versions of Amatriciana sauce to make. And what I've done is just looked at the different versions from different cookbooks that I've used and simplified the sauce just a little. It really doesn't take a lot of simplification because it's a fairly simple sauce in the first place. But pared down the ingredients just a little bit and it's gonna make the recipe move a lot more smoothly, and it's very quick to make and easy to make at home. So I'm simmering my pancetta along with my red onions. And you can use red onions or white onions, yellow, sweet onions, whatever you have on hand. Others traditionally made with the white onion. I prefer the flavor of the red onions to the white onions, which is why I'm using them in this dish. And we're gonna cook this, let this cook for a little while. I want my pancetta to get a little crispy. It doesn't have a lot of fat in it, so the good thing is we're gonna save a step. We won't have to actually drain it on a paper towel. We can actually just move into the next part of our recipe. So we're gonna take a quick break and allow the pancetta and the onion to cook, and we'll be right back. And we're back. My pancetta and my onions are cooked. Gonna add my garlic and allow my garlic to cook for about 30 seconds. We don't want it to burn garlic. We just want it to get a little soft. Added my garlic. Gonna add some crushed red pepper. It's optional for those of you who don't like a lot of spice. But I like the addition of the crushed red pepper to this sauce because it blends very well with the tomatoes and gives it just a little kick, but not too much. And I'm gonna add my wine and let the wine cook down, reduce to about half. And while my wine is reducing, I'm gonna go ahead and chop up my tomatoes. I'm using just a can of whole San Marzano tomatoes. This is about a 14 ounce can. For those of you who may have problems with acid reflux and the acid from tomatoes, I've had very good experience using San Marzano tomatoes with my clients who have acid reflux. My mom has acid reflux and I cook with these at home for her, and she doesn't have a problem with them. So if you feel like you have to give up tomatoes due to your acid reflux, I recommend that you try using some San Marzano tomatoes and see how well you tolerate them. And if you tolerate them pretty well, then you don't have to give up the tomatoes in your diet. A couple more minutes for my wine to reduce down, and we'll be right back. So our wine has reduced. I'm gonna add the tomato paste and mix that in. Just smash it up till it combines well. And then I'll add my tomatoes. And then some Italian seasoning. And once we've added all of those ingredients, we're pretty much done. We're just gonna allow this to simmer for about 8 to 10 minutes. And then we're gonna add a little fresh basil, and we'll be ready to then add it to our zoodles. So I'll see you in about 10 minutes. And we're back. And my sauce is cooked down. It's been about 10 minutes. And now I'm just going to add my basil, my fresh basil, and combine this. And I'm gonna taste this just to see if I need to add. Oh, that's good. Just need to add a little salt, a little more, and a little pepper. We'll combine this. Let that simmer for a few seconds while I talk to you about our zoodles or our scoodles. So zoodles are just zucchini or zucchini noodles, and then I call scoodles noodles that have been made from butternut squash. My preference, if I am going to eat these, is if I can find the butternut squash noodles, to use those, because the butternut squash noodles have a very similar consistency to whole wheat or just your wheat pasta. The zucchini has a lot of water in it, so the zucchini noodles tend to be not nearly as hearty, but this is a great combination here. I've got butternut squash noodles, yellow squash noodles, and zucchini noodles mixed together. And I'm using this just because it's great sometimes to switch some things up, get away from the pasta, add more vegetables to our diet. And a great way to do that is through using the squash noodles. You can buy them already made in the store, or if you do have a gadget called a spiralizer at home, you can actually make these at home yourself. The next step is just to add the squash to the pasta sauce. If you're using regular pasta, it's common to make Amatriciana with a pasta called bucatini. And bucatini, think of it as a really fat spaghetti with a hole in the middle. So it's a very large, dense, long pasta. And that's what's commonly used with the Amatriciana sauce, but you can use any kind of pasta with it, like a spaghetti or an angel hair pasta, and that will do very well with it. So I've combined my squash noodles, and the great thing about the squash noodles is they will cook in your sauce and they don't take very long at all, especially if you're using pure zucchini noodles. So that's just something to keep in mind. If you want something quick and easy to make and healthy, if you keep some zucchini noodles in your refrigerator, they don't take any time to cook once you've cooked your pasta sauce. And I'm gonna take a few minutes to plate this and we'll come back with our nutrition nugget. So I've plated our Amatriciana with squash noodles, and all I'm gonna do now is garnish it with a little Parmesan cheese and some fresh basil, and we are done. So our nutrition nugget for today, tomatoes. Tomatoes are a fruit and they belong to the nightshade family, although for our culinary purposes, we categorize tomatoes as a vegetable. Tomatoes are about 95% water and then 5% carbohydrates and fiber. Tomatoes are very high in antioxidants, such as vitamin C, and they're also a great source of potassium, vitamin K, and folate. The great ingredient or the great mineral that is in tomatoes that really boosts our health is something called lycopene. And that's what causes gives tomatoes their red color. And lycopene actually is great for our heart health. It decreases the risk of certain cancers, and it does, believe it or not, it provides protection against sunburn. So I didn't know that, so that's interesting information to have. If you ever get a sunburn, you may want to eat more tomatoes, and that will help to remedy that situation a lot faster. So thank you so much for watching. Remember to make every bite count, stay active, and stay connected with your friends and family. Follow me on Instagram at chef_Shonah. Grace and blessings to you, and I will see you next time.